Nobody likes waiting in line at the DMV. Waiting for your number to be called, waiting. Oh, wake up! Come on, let's jump into our time machine and blow this popsicle stand. Back in ancient Mesopotamia. Wait, no, not more bureaucracy!
No! God, please, no! No! No!
No matter where or when you go, if you find civilization, you are probably going to find bureaucracy. For better or for worse, when you bring large groups of people together, each with their own special skills and trades, some type of administrative group will probably need to be formed to keep things running smoothly. And ancient Mesopotamia is no exception. When such a variety of people come together to live with one another, eventually a city is formed. Defining a city is complicated, but for our purposes, we will stick with van der Meerop, who says that the characteristics of a city are a substantial number of people living in close proximity to one another and having many occupations, including a variety that are non-agricultural. In other words, when people can live on their own with their immediate family, farm their own land, or hunt and gather their own food, they may not have the most sophisticated lifestyles, but they are self-sustaining. However, when a potter, a smith, and a jeweller walk into a city, not a setup for a bad joke, they no longer focus on farming their land or gathering their own food. Rather, they focus on their particular specialization, and by selling or trading their special products, they can buy the food and supplies that they would normally have produced themselves. Once this concept is embraced, people can begin to work together to create a more advanced civilization. For example, let's say Farmer Fred and Farmer John are good at farming, but Farmer Fred really likes to make things out of metal. Now, Farmer Fred can't eat metal. If he wants to eat, he has to get up every morning and tend to his field. However, if Farmer John says to Farmer Fred, "Hey, Farmer Fred, my fields produce a lot of food. In fact, we can't eat all the food that we produce. I'll tell you what, if you forget about farming and spend your time making things out of metal, I'll take care of the farming, and then we can sell the stuff you make out of metal to other people and split the profits." This type of cooperation is the basis for a successful city. The people that live in the city create a more developed life, not only for themselves, but for the people living around the city as well. In the city, there are people engaging in many different areas of craft production: weavers, potters, smiths, jewelers, etc. And each of these specialists produce things that are valuable to people in and around the city. Those that are outside the city continue to focus on things like farming, hunting, and animal husbandry, and they bring their goods to the city to sell or trade. In this way, the people in the city are able to acquire the food and supplies they need, and those in the countryside are able to acquire these specialized goods with the excess food and products that they supply. Thus, as van der Meerop says, the city acts as a mediator between people, both those living inside its limits and those in permanent or seasonal settlements in the surroundings. But guess what? This is a lot of working, transporting, buying, selling, and living going on in a relatively small area. And people are people, which means that there are going to be problems. How do you keep it all under control? By creating a type of governing system to be in charge of it all. And thus, we have bureaucracy. This type of administration can be rather simple, or it can become very complex. But the fact of the matter is, all of these moving parts inside and outside of the city necessitated a type of administration to make sure everything ran smoothly and stayed on task. And where there is bureaucracy, there is paperwork. Paperwork. Receipts, sale documents, contracts, you name it, they had it. And it makes sense. If people are going to buy and sell goods and services, you would expect this type of paperwork to be a part of it. What makes it so important in ancient Mesopotamia, however, is that the formation of the first cities went hand in hand with the invention of writing, advancements in farming and craft technologies, and developments in administration and bureaucracy. In our next video, we will look at how this process took place, specifically in ancient Mesopotamia, and what the first city looked and functioned like. You won't want to miss it. Okay, as exciting as this has been, I've got to get back. I think my number just got called at the DMV.